Gratitude saved my life, not motivation, not money. So I know you've noticed this feeling before, how your brain has an incredible ability to convince you that your life will finally begin once you achieve the next thing. I'll be happy when I lose the weight. I'll be happy when I earn more money. I'll be happy when I find the right person and I'm in a perfect relationship. I'll be happy when I'm out of debt. And for years, this was my entire perception of life. I was always chasing the next milestone, believing happiness was just waiting for me around the corner. But the problem was, every time I reached one of those milestones, the finish line moved, because I wasn't building a life, I was chasing a feeling. And no matter how hard I chased it, I never caught it. So people look at me now and see someone who trains every day, runs a coaching business, speaks about gratitude and growth, and genuinely loves waking up in the morning. But what they don't see was the version of me that was drowning. Not just in debt, not just in addiction, but in shame. Because addiction isn't just about the drugs. It's about the escape. I wasn't taking drugs because life was amazing. I was taking drugs because I didn't want to feel how it lived to live in my own life. And that's a horrible thing to admit. I was in debt. I was addicted to drugs. I was lying to myself. I was lying to the people that I loved. I was chasing money in any means necessary because I thought money would fix what I was feeling inside. And then I'd use drugs to escape the pressure of chasing money. It was a cycle that fed itself, a negative downward spiral. And looking back, I wasn't even addicted to the substances. I was addicted to becoming somebody else because I hated being left alone with my own thoughts. Silence felt dangerous because silence asked the questions that I was not ready to answer. Who are you when no one's watching? What are you actually running from? Why do you believe that you'll finally be able to feel like you're enough after the next achievement? Those questions terrified me, so I kept myself busy. If I wasn't working, I was distracted. If I wasn't distracted, I was off my head on drugs or alcohol. If I wasn't off my head, I was planning another version of my future self instead of living in this present moment. So maybe you don't relate to the fact I'm talking about drugs, but maybe you relate to constantly needing noise and distraction and scrolling and Netflix and work, the gym, alcohol, shopping, sex, porn, constantly checking your phone to see if you've got another dopamine, so another notification to give you some dopamine. Different escapes, same reasoning behind it, because sitting quietly with ourselves has become one of the hardest things that people can do in this day and age. Until one day I realised, I'd reached a point where I realised something. The drugs weren't even the biggest problem. The debt wasn't even the biggest problem. The biggest problem was that I had completely lost the ability to appreciate my own life. I could only see what was missing, everything I didn't have, everything I hadn't achieved, everything that I wasn't. My brain had become so programmed to search for lack. And when your brain only looks for what's wrong, life will always feel broken. That was the beginning of everything changing. Not overnight, not in some Hollywood movie moment. Quietly, I started writing down 3 things that I was grateful for every morning. And at first, it felt ridiculous. I remember thinking, this isn't going to solve my debt. This isn't going to fix my addiction. This isn't going to rebuild my life and make me a happy millionaire with a 6-pack. But something unexpected happened, because the more I trained my brain to notice all the amazing things I already had and I already was, the less control my problems had over my identity. So gratitude didn't magically remove my debt. I still had to pay all that off. Gratitude didn't magically cure my addiction. I still had to fight that every single day. Gratitude didn't suddenly make life easy. It just changed the way I saw my life and the way I was living inside of it. And when your perspective changes, your decisions change. So I started looking after my body more because I appreciated it instead of punishing it. I started making much better financial decisions because I appreciated the opportunity to rebuild myself instead of feeling sorry for myself and drowning in debt. One decision became another, then another, and then another. And when you make consistent decisions in a certain direction, it starts to compound. It can either compound upwards or downwards. That's what gratitude is, because when you're genuinely grateful for your life, you stop feeling like somebody disposable. That's what nobody will tell you. Gratitude isn't soft. Gratitude's powerful. It changes the standards that you hold yourself to. Because fast forward to today, I've still got problems. I'm not pretending life's perfect. I still have difficult days. I still doubt myself sometimes. I still doubt myself a lot of the time. I still have moments where I wonder if I'm doing enough. But the difference is, I no longer wake up in the morning wishing I was somebody else with a different life. I genuinely love my life, not because it's perfect, but because it's mine. That's why I created the Gratitude and Growth Coaching Program. Not because I think gratitude is some magical solution, but because I've lived the opposite. I've lived the life where every day is spent chasing the next thing whilst completely missing the one thing that you're already living. And it's exhausting, but it's completely unnecessary too. So if you're watching this and something inside of you knows that you're just surviving instead of actually living, if you've achieved things but still feel strangely empty, if you feel like you're constantly waiting for life to begin, don't ignore that feeling. It's not weakness, it's awareness. And awareness is where change can start to begin. So if you're ready to stop surviving and start building a life you're genuinely excited to wake up to, click the link in the description and book your breakthrough call. And for 60 minutes, we'll slow everything down. We'll uncover what's been keeping you stuck. We'll identify the beliefs and the patterns that have been quietly running your life in the background. And if we're the right fit, I'll show you how we can rebuild your relationship with yourself over the next 90 days. No pressure, no fake promises, just one honest conversation, because sometimes one conversation is all it takes to stop chasing a better life and finally start appreciating and building on the one that you've been living all along. So remember this, I didn't beat addiction because I became stronger. I beat addiction because I found a way to build a life that I didn't want to escape from. And that's what I want for you, a life that doesn't need escaping. A life that you're genuinely excited to wake up to in the morning, because gratitude isn't the reward for a great life. Gratitude is the reason that a great life becomes possible in the first place. Let me say that again. A great life is not the reason to become grateful, but being grateful is the reason that your life can become great. So I'll see you in the next video. We're dropping bombs. I've got things to do, so I'll see you in the next video. But click the link in the description, book yourself a breakthrough call, and click down below in the comments. Drop a thought, something you agree with that I've said, something that I disagree with. Just let me know you're there and you've seen it and you took some value from the video. And hit subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Let's go, champ.